Hello, what is up? My name is Vincent Baker and I'm super excited to be here today because today we're going to be discussing one of my group's favorite games, Here to Slay. So Here to Slay is a very fun game that's easy to jump into and play with some simple rules, but there is some interesting depth to it as well. So in Here to Slay, you'll deal out 5 cards to everyone. Your cards will have various heroes, different modifiers to modify your rolls or modify your opponents if you'd like to be a little sneaky there. Or you have challenge cards and item cards as well. There's also magic cards that give you different spell effects. But before you jump in, you'll want to play as your different heroes. Now I will say I have like this exclusive edition, so I will have some heroes and some cards that you might not have in your game, but it's perfectly fine. Just felt like I should say that way you're aware that it might not come with everything you see here. But with that out of the way, everyone will get a random hero. You could either choose if you want, if everyone has their favorites, or you can deal out, say, 2 for each player, and then they can choose their favorite among the 2 that they are dealt, and then everyone have their hero. Each hero has their own class, which is represented by this little bubble there and the symbol, and then they each have their own effects. Their effects you can activate whenever they say you can, which is pretty much at any time. So for example, this one says anytime you roll to attack a monster, +1 to your roll. So anytime you do that, you have +1 to your roll. So there's 2 different ways to win Here to Slay. Your first way is you can collect 6 different classes, which is basically 6 of these different symbols. So if you have 2 of these, it's not going to count towards that, but if you have 6 different symbols among all of those, then you can win the game. So for example, this guy can help you in forming a full party that would win you the game. Otherwise, what you can do is you can slay monsters. Now, in Here to Slay, there will always be 3 monsters that are in the lineup over here. They're going to be completely random, so you're going to have this deck shuffled, which is different colored than these oversized cards, which helps distinguish between your heroes and your monsters. So once you have the 3 monsters here, they tell you the requirements it takes to fight them. The H stands for any type of hero, and then if you meet the requirement among the cards in play that you have, then you can roll dice to fight them. So we have this cool dice tower, we have the dice. We're going to throw those down there. We have a total of 6. So we have to see if it says 6 plus slay the monster, we get to slay it. Otherwise, it might have a negative effect, which is discard 2 cards. Or maybe this one is sacrifice a hero, which would be one of these guys in play. So unfortunately, as you try to slay Dracos, unfortunately your little hoodwink guy dies. You know, so it gives you that fun, thrilling adventure of trying to slay these monsters and them actually being problematic and killing off your guys. So whenever it's your turn, you will have one of these handy-dandy what to do on your turn cards. It's a handy reference to show you like how you can win the game, the various classes, what you can do during your turn, etc. These, there's one for every player, so it's very helpful to distribute those among everyone at the table. And basically, you have 3 action points you get to spend. You can spend 1 action point to draw a card from the deck. You can play a hero, item, or magic card from your hand. Whenever you play a hero, you get to use their effect immediately without having to spend another action point, but then on successive turns, you can spend an action point to use his ability. So for example, during my turn, I can play Hoodwink, roll the dice. I got a total of 5. His requires 8 or higher, so the effect does not trigger. But I can spend another action point to try again, and that time I get a 9, so it's higher than 8, so I can swap the item cards equipped to any 2 heroes. So I can shuffle things about around a bit. And then the other thing is I can roll to use the hero effects. Or you can spend 2 action points to attack a monster. So anytime you go to attack one of these monsters, it does take up 2 of your action points. Or you can spend 3 action points to discard every card in your hand and then draw 5 cards. But that will take up your entire turn. So that could be good if you're low on cards, if you only have, say, 1 card left in your hand, maybe 2, or maybe you have all 5, but they all are terrible. You can discard your entire hand and draw a new hand, but that will end up effectively forfeiting your turn. But it could still be the right call. That is the basics of the game, but I'll just show you a sample hand of what this could look like. So for example, if I have my hand of 5 cards, I have 3 action points. I'm going to spend 1 to draw a card from the deck just to give me some more options. I'll play Napping Nipples, which is funny because he does nothing. So you roll the dice, get a 7. He doesn't do anything, but it's okay. We'll play Hoodwink, we'll roll for him, and I get a 4, so he does nothing as well. So that would be the end of my turn because I spent 1 action to draw a card, 1 action to play him, and 1 action to play him. However, if I wanted to, say if I rolled a 4 for Hoodwink, I'm 4 off, I could spend modifiers to give him +2 +2 to make that an 8 to pass off his effect. However, you have to be careful because your opponents can also play these against you. So if I use 2 of my cards to make it to an 8, you have to be very careful because then someone else can negative that to make it so it no longer works. I then could spend another card to +3 it just to guarantee that I get it. And so it can go back and forth. And this game will definitely have some moments where you might hate your friends a little bit. It's one of those kind of games. So if that's not your style, then maybe this game isn't for you, but that is something to keep in mind. Last but not least, there are these challenge cards, which there are your basic challenge cards, which you can use no matter what type of class you have, and then you have your class-specific challenge cards. So what this means is you have to have the class in play in order to play it. So this one, Bard Challenge, means that you need a Bard in play to use it. Whenever you do this, you can challenge someone else who's trying to play a hero, item, or magic card. You challenge it, so you roll a dice, and you get +3 on the class-specific one. So mine would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, versus my opponent, who got a 7, so unfortunately my challenge did not succeed, so they get to play their card as normal. If I had succeeded, then they would have to discard their card that they're about to play. You cannot challenge modifiers though, so it's important to keep in mind. And that is basically how you play Here to Slay. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you have any more questions about Here to Slay, be sure to drop it down in the comments below. I'll try to leave some other links down in the description box to help you out again. We also have a cool Discord in which it's a gaming and anime themed Discord. So if you like that, be sure to drop on in. Like, comment, subscribe. All of it helps, so we appreciate it. Thank you so much. And as always, stay awesome.
Guess I have no choice. It's time to save the world.